Good evening, dear colleagues, dear partners, friends. I'm Nadia Yuda, head of SME support and self-employment from organization Xviii, and I would like to invite you to discuss business, partnership without prejudice, how to arrange cooperation with private sector for systemic support of SMEs. Our goal today is to create an open and safe space where we can discuss how partnership is shaped between public and private sector, what works, what doesn't, the do's and don'ts, and how we can improve this, providing, by the way, opportunities for the people who are met with discrimination and their access to the labor market, especially at a time of war when the economic resilience and opportunity to have income serve as a critical element of well-being and economic security for the community representatives who are in double jeopardy. And it's about visibility, it's about acceptance and freedom to be who you choose to be. And now we have to overview such take a view over inclusiveness and accessibility of such partnerships, a new cooperation, new openness, new ethics, and new success. And let me take up a couple of minutes of your time. I represent Xviii organization. That's our name. About the organization that is now active Bloom program, which is focus on creation of self-employment, business support, early economic recovery, local partners, capacity building, community-based capacity building, new opportunities for the people who are survivors of this war, and support of entrepreneurs coming from LGBTQ+ community, because we can see this opportunity, the difficulties with official employment, higher level discrimination, lack of safe spaces, limited access to funding. So we provide this opportunity for the startups for self-employment, grants from $1,000 to $5,000 to create your own business. And I would like to emphasize that it is not necessary to register. It is not mandatory to officially register as business. You can pitch your idea first. We support SMEs from $17,000 to $30,000. Those business operators who can create jobs, one or more, for the community as well. Mentorship, training, consultations under the program. And this program encompasses Sumy, Chernihiv, Kharkiv, Dnipro, Kherson, Mykolaiv, Odessa, and Zaporizhzhia countries. And this business is not just about survival, it's about being a foundation for safe space and integration. Well, this is a bit of introduction to this topic that we are trying to discuss. I would like to introduce our speakers. Yevhen Beletsky, project manager of Alliance Global Organization, which is our partner. They're working with us. This organization has perennial experience of working with communities that encounter high barrier in access to services and employment. Eugene, the floor is yours. Thank you, Nadia. Yes, I would like to mention the project. Nadia was very correct, discussing opportunities for optimized markets. This is capacity building, basically, for means and opportunities to streamline the markets. and Alliance Global serves as an implementing partner for LGBTQ plus people, their warm circle and business, small and micro businesses ready to implement real practices of inclusivity at work and provide such opportunities for other groups and individuals. Nadia was right. This project is active in 8 regions. Two were added quite recently. Follow the announcements, and perhaps we'll have some changes and additional regions if you are based there and want to start up or have already done this. You also can serve as a mentor, and if you have vulnerability criteria, sustain damage to your property or equipment, perhaps your friends are interested, acquaintances, family members affected by the aggression. We promise to review your applications and we'll try to support them. I would like to add that we also accept community-friendly business. This not just about posting banners. This should be for real. Recently, we received this application from a hairdresser, but this person is quite well known in our community. All the people support this person as patrons, and we wanted to discuss it today. Denise Gudimenko, regional manager in Cherkasy. He works in the field with local activists and entrepreneurs. Good evening. I'm happy to see you all here. I'm going to discuss the best way, how we started our cooperation with businesses in Cherkasy country and what we achieved, what we have, and how we achieved that. We achieved a lot, in my opinion. Anyway, we have now private dental clinics cooperating with us, pizza huts, pizza restaurants, and other businesses. I will discuss this in more detail a bit later. I can do it now. Well, please do. So we started originally from a smaller business, and with a smaller business, we didn't know what to expect from the broader business community. Traditional business community were prepared to proceed with caution, but actually the business community embraced this arrival. They were prepared to provide services. Now they are providing jobs, big discounts. One big enterprise employed our members, trained them, provide deferments, and that was provided them with housing. And that was a great development. Pizza Huts, pizza cafeteria with a code name, Alliance Global. They provide regular discounts, about 20%. This regular discount offered, and also they provide funding for events, activities. One of the latest was a challenge friendship. We had a lottery for certificates to loan. And that's it. So far, so good. I wanted to ask the audience, does inclusivity matter? I know that you have your cards for voting. Let's see the results. No red purses, please. Just the cards. So I think it's important. My next question is this. I can see lots of businesses. So what's your opinion? Just how positive? Is it often positive with you? Any kind of business? Do you see inclusivity? Do you register? Well, is it topical? Is it sufficient? Is there enough of it? So you seem to be confused. Positive experience with business. Right. When you come and you see that everything is great, everything is in your favor. With a job or anything. What I mean is, when you get some service from a company, do you feel well accepted, well received, and comfortable being who you are? Well, in preparation for this session, I looked up some statistics on the web, and as of some years now, according to the statistics in our country, we have a much higher percentage, and this is taken into account by businesses and bigger organizations in the international market. Mercedes, IKEA, every year they have some campaign. Ukrainian business community are also active. They are well-known players supporting this movement. So we have two speakers joining us online. I'd like to greet you, Svetlana Feldman, Assam Publishing House. How you can be inclusive, daring, even at the time of war. Good evening, thank you for the invitation. In fact, I would never even think about any difference it makes for me, what kind of community you belong to. We had on our staff 2 persons from the community. Unfortunately, they fled from the war, but there are lots of people who have contracts with us, designers, artists, creative industries. Our business is friendly towards creative people of all backgrounds. I don't care myself. I don't, for my staff, for my associates, we have equal treatment, equal attitude for all the people, regardless. What matters is a good idea, a good project. I suppose that many publishing houses have such staffers. I don't know, but what do you think as an organization about publishing houses supporting the community? But perhaps people wouldn't even think of looking for a job with a publishing house, with some creative inspirations, ideas, projects in mind. Well, in addition to that, let me just say that we choose authors and copyright translations, interesting projects. You see, well, accidentally I have this book penned by a US author who belongs to the community, and in all this book, it is a bestseller. He is a best-selling author with New York Times. And in the plot, there are some issues. I do not want to act as a spoiler. And besides, this is a fantasy book, and there are two worlds intertwined. And that also is true. It's about love and different kind of relationships in different worlds. It is exciting to read. Let me say that our publishing house is open for people of creative mind and heart, regardless of their background. So we are community friendly, and we need illustrators. We need exciting images. I am very much in favor of any opportunity to work with such promising creators. Svetlana, thank you. Perhaps you can give us a piece of advice for other businesses who would like to be open. Well, in fact, I would like, say, to give you a piece of advice. Be more daring. Be bold in your self-fulfillment and self-expression. You have to understand that your talents, your gift, your creativity should be claimed and accepted and recognized. Business is about money. It's about out-of-the-box solutions. And with the out-of-the-box solutions, people belonging to the community have a considerable advantage, as far as I know, and from experience, of course. Well, our next speaker is Alexander Prokopenko, founder of a cafe for LGBTQ plus in Kharkiv, not just providing services, but creating a safe space for local dwellers. Now, the floor is yours. Good evening, dear participants of the conference, dear friends. I would like to greet you and congratulate on the occasion. Thank you for the invitation. So presently in Kharkiv, this is the only establishment which united our community and creating jobs as we go. And this is not a super profitable development, but it is more on the creative side. We are appealing for the creative community. This is a special boosting site for art, people with some inspiration in artistry. We had one failure, but we reopened this establishment. And I'd like to thank Dennis and LGBT Pound. Perhaps you heard of the all-Ukrainian activity. We selected and had together all the travesty performers, and that was of course in the face of this aggression, but despite all the hardships, we were invited to come to Kharkiv, and we are there for you with all our hospitality. good health to you, believe in yourself regardless, never give up, and believe in your vocation and your cause, good cause, and glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. Thank you, Alexander. I have a question for you. What is, in your opinion, the most important thing in creation of safe space for the community? The most important thing is there's mad people who disregard our community and openly despise us are there, and they will always be somewhere, but we still have to create a place where we're all comfortable for the young people to have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, instead of, doing it on some bench. So it is very difficult. It's difficult in terms of business model. It's not for profit. It is a commercial establishment, but this is more of a shelter, more of a creative environment. We do everything within our powers to make this establishment patron friendly. Well, and make it safe for our patrons. Thank you very much. And I still have a couple of questions to our keynote speakers. Here's one. Maybe there are some forms of support that we still lack. First-hand experience from the speakers and also from the audience. We can collect some ideas. Let's brainstorm on this one. Forms of support. We have discussed the financial side of this business, but anything else? I think the form of support presently, well, let's say we are providing this type of support. It's psychological counseling to have the power, to have the strength to just do it. And I think this is one of the principal things. Well, one of the forms that comes to my mind in terms of the support, we've started this program already, but it's innovative. It's a pilot, basically. It was launched quite recently. Unfortunately, we had no opportunity to engage people, but next year, if and when this project is operational, even if it expires, we'll have some results, something to learn from, some participants supported by the project. And I hope that next year we will be able to disseminate, well, to expand this cooperation, inviting some speakers. What we are missing at this point is some educational activities, because small enterprises, let's say, starting up, starting NLC, taxes, excises, interplay with the governmental bodies, specifically tax authority, and to avoid difficulties. And this is something we miss, and this is something we have to implement for the future and for the small enterprises, introducing inclusive practices in their everyday activities. And then an additional one. What would you give as a piece of advice for a startup with some kind of idea or feeling that it's high time? Well, if you have an idea, just do it. That's my opinion. Go for it. Well, Any questions? I can see a hand. Yes, please get the room in mic. Just wait a second. It seems to me that many people are actually impeded by the situation when they lack awareness. It is easy to start up. On their platform, it takes 15 minutes, but it entails some duties and some rights. So people should be more knowledgeable before they do this for 15 minutes and then face all the compliance.
It was not a question, this is a recommendation, whether you offer some trainings or whatever. We we work both online, we support SMEs, and we offer free consultations. The easiest way to learn something, to learn about our events, to learn what we offer. I would invite you to look at our website, and you will find all the information. Yevhen. Good evening once again. Yevhen Lesnoy, documentary reader, journalist. This is going to be a reflection on today, perhaps. Today, I've heard a lot of interesting things from the speakers, and at this panel, I've seen just some superficious things. We had invited a director or creative director from the publishing house, and representatives of SME, which is not a business actually. It is a community or whatever it is, but it's not a business. Today at the panel, I haven't seen any cases when one of the LGBT community have launched production of military rucksacks, for example. Although I know that this exists, I lack right and interesting speakers for this panel. Thank you for this discussion. I have a question about loans. Do you offer assistance to people who are on site in Kherson and Zaporizhia, or alternatively, you offer some assistance to those people who have relocated from Kherson, Zaporizhia, etc., and want to open new businesses in new locations? We offer assistance to those who stay in some locations. I'm Malikov from Kharkiv, from National LGBTIQ Alliance. I just come back from the session dedicated to the healthcare of community on the framework of a state healthcare system. And in course of that discussion, we raised an issue about private healthcare institutions. Well, my idea is that perhaps it is possible to to open private healthcare institutions in those regions and finance them either from private customer funds or on the account of the national healthcare agency, that is from the national budget. And we raised the issue about inclusivity of those businesses. And I do not mean that those services should be delivered very close to the contact line, but I believe that healthcare sphere is very good for private businesses. Many panel participants confessed that private medical businesses proved to be the most efficient in delivering services to ЛГБТІQ because they focus more on profit. But this does not mean automatic inclusivity. But because some members of LGBT community faced a violation of their rights and prejudice against them also in private healthcare clinics. So my idea is that perhaps it's useful to understand how my idea is to increase the number of private healthcare institutions in the pre-contact line regions. So we need to look at friendly physicians and friendly healthcare workers in the pre-contact line areas. Actually, we do not limit those businesses which can accept our grants. Just a couple of interesting topics to discuss with our speakers. And this is a question to the speakers and to the audience, how to avoid multicolor marketing without actual deeds. How to avoid pinwashing. Pinwashing means washing means that businesses support LGBT during Pride Month, but they do not support them meaningfully all year round, so to say. Before the war, we saw businesses who even had colorful flags during Pride Month. But now we do not see such businesses. As of now, there are some businesses, there is a small group of businesses who support LGBT communities, and I think that we should support this. Do you know any cases when Ukrainian businesses continue to support LGBT communities irrespective of the full-scale invasion? I can point out Shell gasoline stations. They continue to support LGBT community, and mm, um, I would like to mention several barriers because some governments had lowered thresholds for so-called chasing mm, suggesting that businesses should not practice inclusion, and that is what we observe these days. With the beginning of the war, has the situation changed because of the war, maybe in the pre-contact line regions? In my opinion, the situation has changed. I cannot say much about the pre-contact line areas because I come from central Ukraine. Maybe Vasya will add on that. What it was about, will you please remind me how the situation has changed due to the war? In my opinion, the situation with businesses has changed positively in terms that they show bigger acceptance of LGBT community. They became more supportive of us. Is anybody able to add about pre-contact line territories of Vasil Malikam National LGBT Consortium? Quite often I try to rethink those changes which happened in Kharkiv after a full-scale invasion. And after this almost 4 years of full-scale invasion, I can say that the impact was multiple and different, and this impact varies and changes from year to year. Those who work in the pre-contact line territories, they have a very high adaptivity. That is what we see in our everyday work. That is what we see in our work as a civil society. And we can imagine how it is with the businesses when people contribute their own money and try to make this business profitable. In a situation of immediate military threat and in a situation of scarce numbers of customers, I think we should have a big respect to all these people. In Ukraine in general and in the pre-contact line in particular, even pink washing could be a good sign, and any support, any demonstrated support from broad community is a good sign, because from previous years we know um, that Pride events friendly, LGBTIQ-friendly businesses were attacked by the ultra-right groups, and even some publishing houses who publish materials about LGBT community, they may suffer from stigma and become subjects of attacks. In Kharkiv, I know such businesses who are friendly towards the LGBT community. During the years of full-scale invasion, we have seen opening of several LGBT clubs in Kharkiv, and they invite LGBT community members for HIV testing and allocate room for that. They also speak on the importance of HIV testing for bisexual, gay men, and because this is an achievement, this is positive transformation, and now this situation had improved against what we had some 5 years ago. The topics which remained stigmatized some time ago, they become less stigmatized now, and it seems to me that we will come out from this war more tolerant, more open to different communities, and to interaction between those communities. And your program Bloom is aimed at the same result. I hope that we will be able to offer this Bloom program when people require mutual understanding, sympathy between different communities. So I hope that you will continue to exist. Thank you for these comments. We have just several minutes. We will try to sum up and say that it's worth to work on development of inclusive business, not be afraid of launching your own business, and perhaps in case you have any questions, it is possible to find necessary information. Today, we had seen rather important things about inclusivity, that you can improve your business, you can develop your business in inclusive way. Thank you for your time. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to those who joined us online. Take care. I wish you quiet night